friends, I'm Ayantika and in this video I will be discussing about a fungi Rhizopus species which is a storage pathogen, which means that it causes post-harvest rotting disease in various vegetables as well as fruits. This species Rhizopus, it is in the BSc syllabus as well as certain MSc syllabus of certain universities. So in this video I will be discussing about an overview of Rhizopus, its structure, its economic, ecological importance, and in the second part of this video I will be discussing about the reproductive strategy, both asexual as well as sexual reproductive strategy and life cycle. So let's start the video. In the overview, first we will be discussing the taxonomic position, which is quite important in long questions. In long, you get separate marks for writing the taxonomic position, so that's very important. And the Rhizopus, it belongs to class Zygomycete, which is characterized by chitinous cell wall, sinusitic mycelium, and lacking of motile spores, that is lacking of zoospores. Then it belongs to the order Mucorales, which is characterized by a very fast growing aseptate hypha. Septations occur only at reproductive stage or if there is a rupture in the cell wall. So to prevent the flowing of the protoplast outside, a wall is formed. And so septations is limited to these two conditions. Then we have family Mucoraceae. The family Mucoraceae, they are majority they are saprophytic, but under certain conditions, favorable conditions, weak parasitic relation can also be found, but generally family Mucoraceae, they are saprophytic. Family Mucoraceae, they reproduce by sporangiospores, that is columellate, which means that the reproductive spores here, you see that there is a columella. This is the columella, and this columella, it is persistent, that is even after the spores are released, this columella remains. So they have a columellate sporangiospore, that is the characteristic of Mucoraceae family. Mucoraceae family, then we have the genus Rhizopus. Rhizopus is a very important genus because it has it is of great economic importance. It causes various type of post-harvest fruit rots as well as vegetable rots, but at the same time it is also economically important, especially we get certain industrial important components from this Rhizopus. And we are today going to discuss about Rhizopus stolonifer, which was earlier known as Rhizopus nigricans. And this is commonly called the bread mold. This is because of the fact that Rhizopus stolonifer or Rhizopus nigricans, which is synonymous, they are the first species to be growing in the bread mold, in the bread. But apart from that, apart from Rhizopus, there are also other species of fungi that colonize a bread, but just because they are the first colonizer, they are called the bread mold. And this Rhizopus species, this Rhizopus genus, it was discovered by a German scientist, Christian Gottlieb Ehrenberg, and who named it as a bread mold. Apart from Rhizopus stolonifer or nigricans, there are other species. Very common species are Rhizopus arhyzus, which also goes by the name of Rhizopus oryzae. Then we have Rhizopus oligosporus or Rhizopus microsporus and sexualis. So these are the common species of Rhizopus. Their mode of nutrition is mostly saprophytic, but it can have some weak parasitic relation also on it can grow on the soft fruits as well as vegetables. So in distribution it is cosmopolitan in distribution, which means that it is mostly found in the tropical as well as the subtropical region, not found in the polar region. It is found mostly in the very warm humid climate, and its habitat, it is ubiquitous. It is found in the soil, in compost, in the litter, dead organic matter in the soil. But as the Rhizopus spores of the asexual spores of Rhizopus, it is airborne. So in the air also we get the spores of Rhizopus. So it is present in soil as well as air. About the thallus structure, here we see in this picture that this is the thallus structure, where these are the rhizoids, these are the rhizoidal hypha, and these are the stolones, and this is the somatic phase. Then this is the reproductive phase, where we see that the rhizoidal hypha, where the rhizoids are developed, they also have some aerial stems, and these are the erect sporangiospores, the asexual reproductive spores, which we see that they are columellate. Here is the, I don't know whether you can clearly see it, but here it is the columella, which even persist when the spores are released. This is the stage where the spores are released. So the mycelium, it is a very fast growing mycelium, and it is well developed, that is branched, and usually this they form a fluffy white mycelium, and this is exposed to air. When exposed to air, it develops rhizoidal hypha. The hypha is usually cottony white at somatic phase, but as it reaches the reproductive phase, it turns gray to black depending upon the amount of sporulation. And these are aseptate hypha. The hypha are aseptate, which means that there is no septation. Here we see that this hypha is without any septation. They are branched, but there is no septation. Septation occur only during, if there is an injury or during reproductive phase. So this is pretty much about the thallus structure. One important thing is that the hypha can secrete pectinolytic enzymes. These pectinolytic enzymes, they help in breaking the middle lamella. We know that the cell of in the plant, the cell wall, outer to the cell wall are the middle lamella. Middle lamella, they help in attachment of one cell to another, and this rhizopus, they attack the middle lamella, break down the middle lamella, and thus it helps in moving intercellularly inside the soft tissue of the fruit. It grows inside the soft tissue of the fruit by attacking the middle lamella, clearing the space and using that space for conquering inside the middle lamella. And once inside the fruit, or in the inside the fruit, or growing on any substratum, usually it uses these stolones, this stolones to conquer large space. Here you can see that from one the stolone is used to move very fast and conquer most of the area. So this is how it moves inside the fruit or in the any substratum. So they use only pectinolytic enzymes, and just because they are incapable of penetrating through the cell wall, they cannot attack any intact fruit, any sound fruit that is uninjured. But if there is injury, during the post-harvest handling of the fruits, especially soft fruits like, say for example, strawberry, papaya. They are soft fruits, and post-harvest injury are very common, and through this post-harvest injury they enter. So they also enter in the through the wounds that is created by other species of fungi, bacteria, or any other species that has caused wound. It can enter through that wounds also. So Rhizopus, this type of fruit damage that Rhizopus cause is called Rhizopus soft rot. That is very common during the rainy season in India, and in hot and humid climate, especially 20 to 25 degrees C optimum temperature for the growth of this Rhizopus. And one important thing about this Rhizopus is that it can even grow in very acidic condition, which means that if there is a certain yeast or bacteria that is already growing in a fruit and it has created acidic condition, and any organism that has already caused rot or damage, and that fruit can again be attacked by this Rhizopus because economic importance of Rhizopus stolonifer. It causes soft rot or leak disease in very soft fruits like that of the papaya, tomato, strawberry, and even in onion, even in pineapples, even in the mustards, the cucumbers, and many other plants, even ornamental plants like poinsettia, and cash crops like tobacco. And this infection, it is mostly caused during very hot and humid climate, that is rainy season in India, as well as that of under irrigated condition, that is summer. And if it is irrigated, well irrigated condition, it can be found in the European countries also. And the main symptoms of this type of disease is that it will be a soft rot. So the rot induced is soft, watery, and there is the entire mass of the fruit, it collapses, and just before it collapses, you can see the fruiting body. Here you see in the tomatoes, here in the tomatoes, here in the strawberries, here in the stone fruits, we see that just before the collapse of the entire mass, the reproductive structures, that is the sporangiospores, are found. The they grow inside the fruit by any break or wound created in the cuticle of the fruit, and then thereafter they grow inside the fruit, and the mycelium, just after the mycelium, it produces this sporangiospores, black sporangiospores. Then the entire biomass of the fruit collapses, and this is a very soft watery rot. So that is why it is also called leak disease of plants and of fruits. And just because yeah, this can occur, this infection can occur on fruits that are earlier colonized by yeast and bacteria. So this yeast and bacteria, they actually leave the media very acidic, and that is called the sour rot. And after the sour rot also, this soft rot can happen. So this is a very opportunistic hypha. Apart from this plant, they can cause disease in human also. We will discuss it in the next slide. So apart from this economic loss, it causes some economically importance also. Rhizopus stolonifer, they are helpful in the synthesis of ethyl alcohol, fumaric acid, lactic acid. These are industrial products that we obtain from Rhizopus. Apart from that, in food industry also, especially this Indonesian dish tempeh, which is actually a fermented pressed soya bean cake, where due to this fermentation of the soybean, the fermentation brings it is very easy to have a binding property after the fermentation. The soybean, they bind well, and this soybean cake, pressed soybean cake, that is a tempeh, is a very healthy appetizer, and it is found mostly to be used in the Southeast Asian country, Rhizopus stolonifer. Now, management of the diseases, that is the post-harvest handling diseases of these soft fruits that is caused by the Rhizopus, it is managed by non-chemical, chemical as well as biological process. In non-chemical process, we know that Rhizopus develops in hot humid climate, so the temperature should be low and there should be a proper sanitation maintained around the packaging plant, and the rotting fruits should be removed. This is because the rotting fruits, they are capable of spreading the infection, because we know that Rhizopus, they have aerial spores, that is the spores are dispersed by air current, and any rotting fruit in the packaging unit can cause rotting of other fruits also, so they should be removed. Water tanks that are used to wash the fruits, they should be using chlorinated water, not only to check the Rhizopus but also other type of pathogens, bacterial, fungal, all the pathogens. The equipments that come with the fruit, for example the conveyor belt, the rollers, the bins, they all should be regularly sanitized, and there should be a tendency to reduce the number of wounds, because only the Rhizopus can enter through these wounds. So if there is maximum number of fruits with wounds, then there is a maximum possibility of getting the Rhizopus infection. And especially one thing is that we can while harvesting, we should not harvest the fruit, very ripe fruits. We should harvest it before the ripening process starts, because once the ripening starts, then what will happen is that the fruit or any fruit, they will turn very mushy and soft. So we don't want that. We want because very soft and mushy fruits, they are very much prone to injury or damage that is caused during handling. So we should just try to have not totally ripe fruits. We should not harvest it totally ripe, so that the handling injury can be reduced. And also the Rhizopus, they can be checked by heat treatment, but that is only for the Rhizopus mycelium. The spores, they are very resistant, so they are not killed. However, the spores, to deal with the spores, what we can do is UVC. When the fruits, they are irradiated with ultraviolet C rays, then that will delay the spore germination if any spores are present on the surface of the fruit. So that is UVC. Then we come to the chemical control. Chemical control is by use of this fungicides, especially stock mold and botron. These are the two varieties of fungicide that is used to control Rhizopus. And the biological control is that one yeast and another fungi, another mucoparasite that parasitizes on this Rhizopus. So these two are the biological control to check Rhizopus. Apart from having causing disease in plants, it also causes disease in immunocompromised person, zygomycosis or mucormycosis. It is a very common disease in immunocompromised person, and it is caused by Rhizopus or Rhizopus. Apart from that, it is also caused by other species of Rhizopus and mucor, which are mucor is another fungi that belongs to zygomycetes. And this entire infection, it affects only immunocompromised person, which means that if you have low immunity, especially in diseases like AIDS, or you are having an organ transplant, and in order to deal with the organ failure, your immunity is it is it is reduced with the help of medications, or if you are suffering from autoimmune disease and your excessive immunity against your self immunity, in order to check that, you are given medications to reduce your immunity. In those type of people, we can get this type of disease. This disease is mostly caused by inhalation of the spores. The spores, they enter the respiratory tract, and initially it causes the problem in the skin as well as respiratory area, the nasal area, chest discomfort. These allergic reactions are found only in the immunocompromised people, not normal people. And this however, this infection can be very fatal if not treated, because it can then cause death also. And only treatment is that we start it with antibiotic treatment, and then if it is very serious, then we have to do some tissue removal by surgery. And this in very advanced cases of this mucormycosis, not only the skin and the respiratory tract, but also the brain gets affected, brain and lungs get affected, where it causes intense allergic reaction, swelling, and if not treated, then it can cause the necrosis also. And that is why I was suggesting that actually I have read in a research paper that only if the antibiotic treatment fails, then tissue removal is done. That is mainly because of this, to remove the necrosis. That was all about Rhizopus stolonifer, the opportunistic pathogen of human, as well as causing watery, soft rot or leak disease in soft fruits. So here in this video, I discussed an overview, thallus structure and economic importance of Rhizopus, and in the next video, I will deal with the reproductive strategy and the life cycle of Rhizopus. And soon after Rhizopus, I will be starting on mucor. That is also in the BSc syllabus and also MSc syllabus of certain universities. And thanks for watching this video. If you like it, do share it with your friends and do encourage me with your subscription. Thanks for watching this video.